Hello, it's Angela and I'm back to show you card 3 from the Hobbybase Box set. This month it's box 18 and we have a Halloween or Day of the Dead or festival theme going on. For this card I've used, I don't know if you can see the iridescent sort of sparkle in there, I've used one of the new shimmer shakers, which is this one here. It's Cosmic Shimmer, and this colour is Pumpkin Spice. Oh no, it's not, it's Pumpkin Splash. Okay, so what I did with this is I actually cut a panel of watercolour card, or you could use another cardstock, depending on how much water you want to add to it. But I was adding quite a bit, so I've used the watercolour card. And what I did is I tipped some of the, I painted it over first with a water brush. Then I tapped some of the powder shimmer shaker on to the top. I spritzed it with some more water and then I held it so that the droplets would run down. Now you can actually chase the water down quicker if you have a heat tool. Just put it at the top and you can watch the water come down. Now I repeated that a couple of times until I got the coverage I wanted and dried it. Then I added a little bit of water and tapped some more of the powder on top just to get the speckles. Obviously you can keep adding to build up the colour, but I quite liked it, sort of gave a sort of shiny, rusty sort of effect. Obviously if you had a red it looked like blood, but I thought that might be a bit bad. So we've gone with the pumpkin. I think it gives a nice effect and it's shimmery and it gives a nice background for the skull. The skull is this stamp here from Dovecraft, which comes in the box, and I stamped with a waterproof ink. Because I was going on to some water card there, and I think that was a black eye carvel. Now the outside edges, I've shown that you can actually use these shimmer shaker powders as a paint, and what I did is I cut a panel of black card slightly bigger than my decorated layer, and I went around the edges with the stencil which comes in the box, and I put the stencil on. I tapped out some of the powder onto my craft mat, spritzed with a little bit of water, and then I used a paintbrush to paint through, just randomly. It's just splodgy, just to give the sort of impression. We don't want it too neat because we want it to match with sort of the background and give an impression of some kind of, I don't know, pumpkin flowers. But using it as a paint, and then I lifted the stencil off and I just gave it a quick blast with my heat tool. Just to get it to dry quicker, but depending on how much water you use, you can alter the consistency. You can have more shimmer powder showing or less. The powder, if it starts to dry up a little bit, you paint on your mat, just spritz with a little bit more water. And when I'd finished the stencil and it was dry, I just sort of trimmed around randomly with scissors, and I raised it on some 3D foam, just so it gave a raised panel, so it looks like these are in the front, the foreground. Now the bunting here is actually a die set that comes in the box. It's a Dovecraft set. Now this is a really useful set. Look at all the different bunting shapes. I cut those from the pattern papers. This is actually the same paper, it just has a slightly different pattern on the reverse. I added some gold twine and some adhesive gems to finish. And I also cut out one of the bunting shapes is a heart, which I thought was really sweet, that little heart there. And I cut out some of the patterned card. I did a little splash test on some card and I cut that out so it matches the shimmer shaker. I just threaded it with some gold thread and added it to the bottom. Now the card base obviously comes in the box, and the only things I added there was a little bit of black card just to mat it onto and to do the frame, and some adhesive gems and a little bit of twine. The Free Spirit came on the sentiment page here that came in the box. I'm not sure if all the boxes will have that because that is one of the sheets of paper. It's Fiesta Fever, which is a first edition pad by Trimcraft, so they all coordinate. And I'm not sure what papers you'll get in your box. But if not, if you don't have the sentiment set, then add your own. These are some of the papers I got in mine. As you can see, some are double-sided, and you can see what I've been cutting out. Look. And I really like this one, but I might use that on something else later and show you. And this one has sort of like a fringed effect, and the other side has like confetti. But really, they're a lovely assortment of papers in lovely colours, and not necessarily a Halloween theme. As you can see, some of them are quite useful for all year round, really, with the florals and the confetti. So really, you can make what you want with the kit. I've just shown you what I've made, and hope you're inspired to make something too. Thank you for looking. Bye bye.